There's a strong isolationist strain in us as Americans. Going back, it's in our DNA, how most of us got here, with the exception of African Americans. It was leaving troubled places behind. And so there's despite what the world may think of us from time to time, we're less inclined as a people to want to be involved around the world. And so it's an emotion that is easily aroused when you start talking about undocumented workers in the country, when you speak about it generically. The irony is, of course, the same community, when you start talking about individual cases that come up. I've actually had this experience where the INS will come in and talk about deporting someone that everyone knows. That same community that will give you a rather ugly answer when it comes to immigration policy, when it's someone they know, how defensive they can come about wanting to protect an individual who may actually, under very strict legal determinations, probably ought to be deported based on how they got here and whatever else they're doing. So we're conflicted as a people on the subject matter. And this is one issue where I think the President's been showing leadership, President Bush. He's not getting a lot of help for a lot of different reasons on this, and even his own party are walking away from him. People who were even a few months ago were very much in the forefront of helping to work out compromises on this. The issue will come up in the next couple of weeks, and it can't go up too soon in my view. There is a chance for us to do something that's balanced here. If we don't, it'll be, I think, another 4 years. A new president is not likely to make this an early issue, given the explosiveness of the subject matter, so we could end up going another longer period of time, with the numbers going from 12 million to 15 million, if 400,000 a year are coming in undocumented in the country, with nothing being done and no reason to see that necessarily decline except tighter border security, then I think we could face some real problems. So I accept the basic idea here of better border security. I chair the Interparliamentary Meeting with Mexico and have, or co-chaired it as vice chair for 26 years. So I have very strong relationships south of the border, and I believe it takes cooperation. They have an immigration problem. You get down to Chiapas, the southern states of Mexico, they're pouring in from Central America, Colombia, Bolivia, and they're using the northern border as basically an escape valve as well, pressures on their own economy, and have some dreadful policies. They create huge disparities in wealth, some of the largest in the world in Mexico. But you need to be talking with them to get cooperation. The border security can't just be one side of the border. And then I believe we should have more meaningful penalties on employers who knowingly hire undocumented workers. That may do more than anything else. And on guest worker programs, I'm uncomfortable with this part of the bill more than anything else. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't like a blanket guest worker program. I can make a strong case in agriculture and certain other areas where you can make a case that a guest worker program is necessary. So I'd like the ability to sort of have a valve on that one, demonstrate that I really have a problem here. I'm willing to loosen the valve, but I would be unwilling to have it as a general proposition, because I'm still not convinced that raising minimum wages and doing other things that Americans won't do certain work. So I'm mixed on that question. And then on the pathway to citizenship, I mean, how else do you deal with this? We're not going to round up 11, 12 million people. We're just not going to.